Welcome to the Artist Loft, the talk show for all artists. Join us each show as we spotlight a variety of different creatives, hosted by the Florida Arts Network, with Richard Sosa and Frank A. Ruffolo.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Hi, everyone.
Lofties, welcome.
Welcome to the
Buonanotte.
Buonasera. Buonasera. Welcome to the Artist Loft. We're so excited to be here today. And today we have, again, a very special show. I know I always say this, but it is very extraordinary because today we get to talk about Frank Ruffolo, the one and only.
The one and only.
What is this series, like the Jack Stenhouse series? That's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, Jack Stenhouse Mysteries.
And so, before we begin, I just want you all to know that we are, go ahead.
We are the Artist Loft, an arm of the Florida Arts Network, 501c3 corporation. We promote the arts in schools and local artists. We are nonprofit, so if you go to our website, www.floridaartsnetwork.org, you can see what we're all about, make a donation to help the students. And Richard Sosa is the president, but he's on hiatus today, so he won't be here. It's just me and Alicia.
It's okay. And we just please, we are 501c3. We are here doing our best with the help of you. So please participate and be a part of this journey that we have.
Please.
Right? So, Frank, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm just going to
It's a pleasure.
pretend. Here we go again, right? So we're here talking about Jack Stenhouse and these. How many books you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. And this series is absolutely so intriguing. I even, throughout the years, I've never read a book, but he always told me, because there's such mystery to it. And did I ever tell you I kind of have a crush on Jack?
Well, a lot of people have a crush on Jack. I have a lot of my readers have a crush on Jack. So it's, yeah. I have 6 books, and I'll have another 2 be coming out.
So let's talk about the first one. So this one is called the Jack Stenhouse Mysteries. And do you see it? He's very handsome. Whoever this gentleman you used. But anyways, so let's talk a little bit about, let's go through the synopsis of this.
Okay, that was my first book of the Jack Stenhouse Mysteries. Jack is a detective. He started his career as a homicide detective in Fort Lauderdale. The first story is called The Shadow of Death. And beautiful women are being killed by the bite of a black mamba, which is a poisonous snake in Africa, but does not exist in Florida. So Jack has to figure out how are these women dying of a snake that doesn't exist in Florida. That book starts out with early in the morning on Fort Lauderdale Beach, there's an old man doing his thing with a metal detector, trying to find treasures on the beach, and he gets a hit that there's a gold ring underneath the surface. So he bends down and starts digging, but the owner of the ring is still wearing it. So that's how that starts.
Very mysterious, and this music in the background goes with it.
The music in the background goes with it.
They have a ballet going on in the background in the nearby studio, and we can hear it. So it goes hand in hand with what you're saying. And then the leads in. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Jack is sort of like a player. He's been divorced. He had a vasectomy while he was in college because he didn't want to be bothered with all the paraphernalia.
A vasectomy.
Yeah.
Well, and that's and
his girl, and he likes to date. He likes to date exotic dancers. So the woman on the cover is his girlfriend, who ends up being his wife. Deidre Lee is her name. Her stage name is Dee Dee because why not?
Dee Dee. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny that you call her Dee
Dee
Dee.
Dee.
Because Michelle Chin, who is we play characters, and she's like a stripper, and she's an old lady stripper, and
Her name is Dee Dee. Well, you know why.
All right, so then that leads into the Blue Falcon. Let's talk about the Blue Falcon.
Right. Well, let's segue into that because in the second story of there's two cases in this book. The second
Oh, that's
the second
right.
case, Jack decides he doesn't want to. He hates the heat in Florida. He hates being in Florida. Wants to be in a bigger city, so he moves. He gets a job as a homicide detective in the first precinct in New York. He moves to New York with Dee Dee. With the money she saved up as an exotic dancer and his money, they have an apartment loft in the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Wow.
And he's now what you would call the rookie detective in the first precinct. He's a new guy on block. And they gave him, before he gets into the thing, they gave him a case where it hasn't been solved for years, that there is a serial killer that only kills during the Feast of Saturnalia. The Feast of Saturnalia is
What is that?
is December 17th. That was the original holiday that the pagan Romans used to do every winter to honor their mythical god Satan. It's not Satan, honor the mythical god Saturn. And that eventually, I think they changed that to Christmas. And this
Really?
serial killer was only killing people during the Feast of Saturnalia, and Jack was tasked and he found a hidden secret in one of the videos that he saw from the old case, and he was tasked to find the serial killer. So that's the second.
And Jack realized he's the one that put two and two together.
He's the one that put two and two together.
So he's very clever.
He's very clever.
He's very clever, and he's always figuring out, kind of like not Miami Vice. What's the name? What's the famous? Was it Miami Vice? The famous
Well, not Burn Notice. He was not really a detective. He was a spy. Like Sherlock Holmes?
A little bit. Always
Modern
trying
day
to
Sherlock
figure
Holmes?
things out and putting two and two together.
Jack is a cross between the old type of detective. He's like Mike Hammer, a cross between Mike Hammer, Dirty Harry, and those two, and Deadpool. He's
Who's
got a
Dirty Harry?
Dirty Harry is the Make My Day, Clint Eastwood.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was that detective.
Okay.
That's
Go ahead,
that's
Make
Jack.
My Day.
Make My Day.
Okay,
That's
so then
Jack.
how does this lead on? Because you said Dee Dee is the one that leads on to Blue Falcon.
Well, no, I wanted to say that Blue Falcon is when they're on their honeymoon. Blue Falcon starts when they're on their honeymoon. They're in the Everglades, and Dee Dee spots something on a dry bank on the Everglades, and it was a python with two legs sticking out of its mouth, human legs sticking out of its mouth.
What?
Yeah, and that it gets involved. And I wrote that book before there was any impeachments. That book was written in 2000.
Yes.
That book was written in 2014. So.
Oh, 2014. So the first one was written in what? Well, the
first one is around 2012.
And then this one is
The
2012. Okay,
That's
is
2014.
2014.
Yeah.
Okay, so how more or less can you transition this into the next one?
Well, that's the next one is just be another case in the Fort Lauderdale. The next one is just another case in New York City. After that Blue Falcon case.
And you see here the Twin Towers.
Twin Towers. Yeah, what happens there is when they opened up the memorial for the Twin Towers, the police find a man who's dead at the base of the memorial, who supposedly went missing when the towers went down. He was selling gold. He was a gold dealer, and he had his facility on a subfloor of the Twin Towers, and they thought he died when the towers collapsed. And there was $10 million worth of gold missing, and they find him, who was the owner, dead at the memorial park 15 years later, and with a gold coin in his hand. So Jack
with a gold coin in his hand, which
So
was worth how much?
Well, today it's worth around $3,500. So,
Okay.
Jack and his team had tasked though, who killed this ghost of 9/11, who supposedly died 9/11? Where's he been for the last 15 years, and where's the gold?
Interesting. Interesting because I feel like a lot of your work is very intuitive.
And there, by the way, there was a gold dealership in the Twin Towers that
Exactly.
that all the gold went missing
In real life?
in real life.
So how does that story correlate to yours? What
Well,
you
I surmised the story of how it happened. So, and Jack has to find out how he escaped the Twin Tower when it collapsed and where'd the gold go.
Wow. How's Jack doing today? Interesting, right? Because Jack is so real with the way you write and the way you story tell that Jack becomes a real person. I was telling him on a commercial break that I have like a secret crush on him, as I said to you in the
Yeah,
beginning.
and a lot of readers do.
Yeah, can you? But it's very interesting how you incorporated the Twin Towers into all this because a lot of it is still a mystery in our culture.
It's still a mystery.
In our world. You know, we're living. A lot of us lived through, 9/11.
9/11.
And we're still seeing the remnants of what
Yeah.
happened. Okay, so how does this lead on to this
Okay,
one?
so that case is over. Now this is a new case. Still in the first precinct. A park ranger on his morning routine climbed the arm of the Statue of Liberty to check on the torch and found a body of a woman on the platform of the torch, which is closed to the public. You can't get up there. So Jack and his team, because it's part of his jurisdiction, was dispatched as to the scene. And now they have to figure out how the woman got on the top of the torch and who killed her.
Wow.
And it delves into political, senators are involved and congressmen are involved, and it gets to right-wing organizations and a lot of problems. So,
Do you find politically it's more right than left? I mean, or progressive, or
no, I just picked up because the right-wing organizations tend to have more, right-wing radical organizations tend to have more weapons.
weapons? Interesting.
So,
You know what,
and he's and the guy is a weapons dealer too. So, he has a lot of weapons.
I think it's so interesting because how it's correlated with reality, what's really going on. Because how you're finding out all the stuff that's going underground is a lot that we're finding.
It's like sub-government.
Yes.
I delve into the sub-government, so that's part of it. In the Lady of the Harbor. And the story continues in the next book. Because at the end of the book,
Which is, hold on.
the next book, Operation Retribution, in the end of the book, and if you can see the cover of that book, the original guest that was supposed to be here tonight, Ken Ruiz, is on the cover.
Oh, yeah. I just realized that. You're right.
On that book, what happens is I took the character, I used Ken's character in the book, changed the name, but he's giving a fashion show at a park on the tip of Manhattan, and a sniper kills a couple of his models and shoots him. And
He dies?
No, he gets shot.
No, we shouldn't say
he
anything.
he gets wounded. He doesn't die, but he gets shot. But the two models are killed, and it's a resurrection of the villain from the previous book, who everybody assumes dies in the previous book, but
From
doesn't.
Lady in the Harbor.
The Lady of the Harbor.
Of the Harbor.
He comes back to seek retribution against the first precinct. And what happens there is he wants to set off a nuclear device in the United States, and he has to be stopped. And Jack has to stop him.
Before we continue, my question to you is like, you get all these crazy, I mean, I'm saying crazy, but these amazing ideas that, sometimes it questions me because if you think about it, a lot of these ideas, if you're having them and you're writing it.
Somebody else has them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. And God knows what they'll do with
God knows
it.
what's going on. So
Yeah.
Jack is then tasked to try to stop this guy, and you have to. Well, obviously we're all here, so that didn't happen. So
Yes. thank God, which, because the thing is that I want to know, because like your faith, last time we had an interview, you and I together, it was a lot about your books, about these wondrous, just amazing spiritual experiences. So that will lead us, I want to hear more about that, about how all of that is affiliated with Operation Retribution and all of these books. But we'll be right back after the break, and we will continue with the COVID murders. That's next. Thanks. Stay tuned.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Agent Romante, but most of you know me as Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de Rosa Ramirez from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. I just wanted to give a shout out to my man, Richard Sosa. He is one of the best acting coaches that I've had the pleasure to work with, and he's actually worked with me in my program for many years, and I highly recommend this guy. So if you have an opportunity to work with him, what are you waiting for? Now, get out of my face. Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de Rosa Ramirez. I am out.
Frank A. Ruffolo, a renowned author and screenwriter known for his books such as 10048, Blue Falcon, Memoir of a Soldier, and his latest, Samuel of Sarah. Check out his website, frankaruffolo.com, for more info or purchase his books on Amazon.
Hey,
Welcome
Lofties, we're back.
Yeah. So, Frank, thank you so much for
Well, thank
taking,
you.
instead of like co-hosting with me, he's co-hosting, but he's also being interviewed, because I'm just a little blown away. I don't know if you guys know this, because I've known Frank for years, and when he opens, he's not a man that speaks too much, but when he speaks, it's wow. It always blows my mind, and I'm not somebody that's speechless ever. So I'm kind of speechless with you. But now, to finish off, tell the audience what they're allowed to know. What you were telling me on the commercial break about the
Operation
end of Operation
Retribution?
Retribution, which leads to COVID.
Well, what happens is they infiltrate the this radical militia,
Okay.
and they break it up, and he runs. The owner runs, and he finds a small town in North Carolina to hide. And the town is called Love Valley. Love Valley is a small replica of a Western town.
Is it a real place?
It's a real place.
And where is it located?
North Carolina.
In North Carolina. It's
Yeah.
called Love Valley.
Love Valley. It's a replica of a Western town. And in the summertime, the town is open, and they have like concerts there and rodeo and we visited. In fact, I visited that town last year.
Oh,
And,
you did?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
did-
it's dirt streets, and you gotta watch out for landmines. It's horses and dirt streets and wooden. All the houses are wood. Looks like you're walking through a Western town.
And did you see Jack there?
Yeah, I saw Jack there.
It's
And,
amazing. I love that.
And what happens is they corner the villain in the Western town. There's a major fight in the saloon, and Jack ends up having a old-fashioned shootout or old-fashioned draw, where they draw firearms to like a standoff, and Jack shoots the villain.
Oh, and Jack shoots.
Jack shoots the villain.
So Jack makes it.
Yeah, Jack shoots the villain.
Obviously, right? And that leads us to the COVID murders. That's the latest.
That's the latest one, and there's going to be. I'll briefly tell you about the next two that are coming after that. There's only going to be two more.
Two
what
more,
happened?
and then it's over?
Then it's over. Jack Stenhouse mission is over. In Operation Retribution, because
Okay, tell
this villain comes back and seeks retribution against the first preacher. A couple of the a couple of the people that Jack worked with, they get injured, and one gets killed, and his wife gets killed, who's pregnant at the time. She gets killed. So Jack says, "I've had enough of this."
Oh, Dee Dee?
No.
Oh,
The
okay.
guy he works with.
Okay.
He says, "I have enough of this," and he retires from police work.
Okay.
And he becomes a private investigator. He opens up his own PI investigation. But COVID hits, so he has no job. Dee Dee was running a boutique where she sold lingerie and stuff like that and taught pole dancing. And she had to close the boutique because of COVID.
She definitely had a niche,
She had a niche, this girl. And they also, even though Jack had a vasectomy, they also have a kid.
Oh.
The vasectomy failed.
And, in this book, they have a kid?
I think he has a kid in the previous book.
So hold on. So he had a vasectomy, but he still had a kid?
It failed.
The vasectomy.
The vasectomy failed.
Not the birth. Okay.
So she had a kid. So he needs money. Dee Dee got a grant because of COVID, because of her business, but they still need money. So he gets a call from the first precinct, and he goes down to speak to the inspector of the first precinct. And because COVID was racked the personnel of the first precinct, a lot of cops either were out sick or a few died. They need police, so they hire Jack as a temporary basis as a detective to come back to try to help solve a case because there's a serial killer killing people during COVID. They're finding bodies. They're finding people that have been diagnosed with COVID that have been sequestered in their homes behind locked doors, shot.
And why the murder? Why?
That's why he's got to find out. It's a serial killer. It's killed about 4 or 5 people. They don't know why.
You got to read it to find out.
And Jack's got to figure out who this serial killer is. So he comes back to solve the mystery.
I love it how the music in the background goes.
And the music in the background goes.
It's very interesting because now, back to like our last interview, you said you had voices speaking to you. Like are
Voices
all
in
of
my head.
these voices?
That's what gives me the voices in my head give me the ideas.
Wow. I'm
And
wondering
I get
where
the ideas,
that's
and
why
then-
I asked you about
And then the
how-
characters take over. When I start writing, the characters take the story over. I know how that story is going to start. I know how the story is going to end. I don't know what's going to happen in the middle.
Wow. So you basically go on a journey.
I go on a journey with the characters till the end.
That must be interesting being married to you, right, Chris? Chris is in the audience, and she's listening to all of this, and she's been through the whole journey with you.
She's I have one book in final edit right now, which should be coming out soon, I hope. She's not listening. She's not answering. There's only 2 more books, so the next 2 books, I've changed my writing style a little bit. I started in this book, and now I converted
In
that
COVID.
book. The next two books are more like a noir mystery.
Hold on, it's part of the series, though.
Yeah, it's still Jack Stenhouse, but now he's a PI. Excuse me.
So he's kind of evolved and
He's got involved into a PI. So the next book is called The Golden Skull, and where a femme fatale walks into his office and asks him to find a gold skull that was stolen from her. And Jack gets involved with 2 or 3 femme fatales in this series, trying to find this gold skull because the skull keeps getting stolen, then restolen, then restolen.
Wow.
And he has to find out why is people so intrigued about this gold skull, and why is it causing so many deaths? Because a lot of people are dying around this gold skull.
So tell me a little bit about Jack. Like he has like this innate calling within him.
Jack has an innate calling, and he has an innate ability to attract females,
Yeah.
and nobody can understand why. People just women walk up and hand them phone numbers. Women walk up and tell them, like, you need to call me. And anytime he's with, especially like other police people that are with him or other people like him, they just look at him and say, why? Why do they keep having you do this? Why? Why did they do this? They're just fabulous. Jack just flips it off and goes, I don't know.
You know, it's been studied that like women want to have a bad boy who's gonna like save the
So
world.
Jack is sort of a bad boy, sort of.
Well,
he's not really,
yeah.
but sort of.
No, but he comes off as a bad boy because
comes
he's
off
kind
as a
of a
bad boy.
rebel.
Yeah,
but yet he is, saving the world. Yeah, he's a
And
family
he's a family man.
Yeah. So would that's like the what, a woman's dream.
But yeah, he's he's a good, what do you call him? A good bad man or a bad good man? I don't know. He's he's.
I thought he was going to say no, nothing. I'm not going to say it. Tell me, how do you identify with Jack?
I don't identify with Jack at all. A writer is already a writer. A writer. Every character a writer writes, a bit of that writer is in that character.
Right.
So
right, right.
my sense of humor is probably with Jack. That's about it. But
Okay. Is he a spiritual man?
not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
What about his love interest,
Just his wife.
Dee Dee?
Just his wife.
Does Dee Dee have like a sense of spirituality?
She's
of
spiritual. In fact, Dee Dee brought Jack back to the church.
God? Oh, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so
I'm
Dee
just
Dee-
curious about it because, like, how does this become all? I wanted to learn a little bit about Jack's humane side, his human side.
Jack hates the bad guys, wants to get rid of bad guys, don't like crooks, but he doesn't like authority. He hates being told what to do. He wants to do it his own way. He's very non-woke, very
Non-woke. okay.
non-woke, very
he's
politically
conservative.
incorrect.
Okay.
All right, so that's Jack. He's very straightforward and to the point. So he does what he wants, looks where he wants, says what he wants, and he gets a lot of people upset, and he don't care. And he doesn't like authority. So that's why one of the reasons why he left the police force, because he was constantly being told what to do, and he didn't want to be told what to do.
I don't know if this should be like a series, a television series.
It should be a series.
or a film. Yeah, it has to be because it's such. There's
Well,
There's so much that goes upon these stories, and so they're so good.
Well, the last book is going to be a real. I shouldn't say. The last book is called. The next book that's going to come out after Gold Skull is called Cloistered Lover.
Cloistered lover.
Cloistered Lover.
What does that mean?
Cloistered means confined.
Right.
It's like
But what does it
where
mean?
you go when
Right.
you go to when nuns are put away in a convent, they're cloistered. When monks are put away somewhere, they're called cloistered because they're confined. So there is a museum in Manhattan called the Cloisters,
Right.
which is a part of the Museum of Art in New York. But they built the building. It looks like an old medieval cloister where monks would stay.
Oh.
It's in northern Manhattan.
Yeah, you see, like Jack is just evolving more and more and more.
So what happens is he gets a client who comes in and says, my fiance went missing, and I went to the police, and the police said they have not. She's gone. They left a note. She's gone. We don't want anything. She's gone. She said that she left voluntarily, and the guy kept saying, no. We were going to get married, had plans and everything, and they don't want to follow it. So Jack took the case, and the last time she was a photographer. The last time she was seen, she had went to the cloisters to take pictures, and she never left.
Whew. Well, this is to be continued. Thank you so much for participating in this moment, and thank you so much for opening up to all of us. And let's just continue more and more on this journey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having you. Yeah.
Thank you for
You're
having
always
me.
welcome to come back.
You mean to come in?
See you guys next time with hopefully Shakespeare will be here also. And Frank, thank you so much. And we'll see
Join us
you
in
guys.
2 weeks.
See you soon. Mwah.
Thank you for watching the Artist Loft. Make sure to tune in next time for another great show. A show that was produced by Ant Media Productions and hosted by the Florida Arts Network with your hosts Richard Sosa and Frank A. Ruffolo.